You didn't decide carefully. You stayed scared long enough that the decision made itself. Nobody warns you about this one because from the outside it looks like a virtue. You research, you compare, you sleep on it. Your friends call you thoughtful, your family calls you responsible, and the whole time something is quietly rotting. Anxiety feels bad, so you catch it. Procrastination feels bad, so you catch it. Overthinking feels like work because your brain is moving. Tabs open, notes app full, a spreadsheet with a column called vibe, but movement isn't progress. You can run in place until your shirt is soaked and the room hasn't changed. Not 1 inch. That's what makes this one dangerous. You are not failing at decisions. You are slowly losing the machinery that makes them. Here's what's actually happening in your head. Start with the part nobody says out loud. Overthinking is not analysis. It's avoidance wearing a lab coat. As long as you are still deciding, you haven't chosen. Nothing is lost yet. Every option is still breathing. Because a real decision cuts, that is what the word means. To take the apartment is to kill the other apartment. To take the job is to bury the version of you who took the other one. Your brain hates the cut, so it keeps you upstream of it, forever gathering, forever preparing, and it feels intelligent, which is exactly why it survives. In 1991, Timothy Wilson and Jonathan Schooler published a study called Thinking Too Much. Introspection can reduce the quality of preferences and decisions. They gave students strawberry jams. One group tasted and ranked them. The other group had to write down their reasons first. The tasters lined up almost exactly with the expert ratings. The reasoners drifted. Their preferences got worse. They ran it again with college courses and got the same result. Here's the mechanism. When you force yourself to justify a choice, you reach for the reasons that fit into words. Salary fits into words. Commute fits into words. I felt smaller in that room does not. So the loud, measurable reasons crowd out the quiet ones that actually knew something. Thinking harder doesn't add information. It replaces good information with articulate information. 4 years later, Sonia Lubomirsky and Susan Nolan Hoeksema found the other half of it. People made to ruminate on a problem produced worse solutions to that problem and felt less able to act on any of them. They didn't get clearer. They got more certain they were unclear. So the engine isn't intelligence. It's threat detection aimed at the wrong thing. Now watch how it shows up because it will not announce itself. The first sign is information that changes nothing. Tab 30 tells you what tab 3 already told you. You know the answer. You are shopping for a different one. Then something quieter shifts. You stop trusting your first judgment. You already know what you think. You just won't accept it until a friend, a review, a Reddit thread, and a stranger in a comment section have all agreed with you. Every opinion you borrow teaches your brain the same sentence. I don't trust myself. And your brain believes whatever you repeat. The next one hides, dressed as discipline. You confuse preparation with progress. Picture someone who wants to freelance. Their laptop is a museum of bookmarked articles, pricing, contracts, taxes, portfolio templates, invoicing tools. Every evening they open 3 of them and feel like they're getting ready. Weeks pass, then months. Nothing published, no client contacted, no invoice sent. They don't feel lazy. They feel busy. That's the trap. Research hands you the emotional reward of moving forward, with none of the risk of being turned down. Then a sign arrives disguised as a compliment. You can argue both sides perfectly. You could take either position in a debate and win. You call this nuance. It's a tie you built on purpose, because a tie means you never have to move. And once the tie holds, your decisions start getting made without you. 2 years ago, a friend of mine got a job offer. Deadline Friday, 5 o'clock. She built a spreadsheet. Salary, commute, growth, a weighted column for culture. She called 9 people. She read reviews at 2 in the morning. At 4:50 on Friday, she was still on the phone with her cousin. The offer expired. She told everyone she decided against it. She decided nothing. Friday decided. That's the sign nobody confesses to. You outsource to the deadline, to the other person, to the silence. You've done a smaller version of it this month. You typed the reply, deleted it, made it warmer, then colder, 11 drafts sitting in the box. Then you locked the phone and told yourself you'd send it tomorrow with a clear head. By tomorrow, the silence had already become the message. You never chose. You ran out the clock, and the clock chose the coldest option on the menu. Every time circumstance decides for you, the stress drops immediately. Confidence drops with it. Confidence never collapses all at once. It erodes one avoided decision at a time. But the clearest sign only appears after the choice is already made, because a real decision closes a door and yours don't. You bought the phone and you're still watching comparison videos at midnight. You took the job and you audit it every Sunday night. You keep the other lives loading in a background tab, draining you. That is not reflection. The outcome cannot move anymore. You didn't make one decision. You made the same decision 300 times and paid for it every time. So here's the question you're actually avoiding. Not which option is right. You were never able to know that. Nobody is. Not with 9 phone calls. Not with a spreadsheet. The question is whether you can survive being wrong. That's the whole thing. Overthinking is what happens when you try to think your way to a guarantee the world does not sell. And while you stand there negotiating for it, nothing pauses. The rent is charged. The years are charged. You've been treating every decision as an exam that reveals who you are. It doesn't. A wrong choice makes you someone who was wrong on a Tuesday, and nothing more. A life doesn't get ruined by the wrong choice. It gets spent in the hallway, hand on the doorknob, calling it thinking. Tell me in the comments, what's one decision you've been thinking about, and what month did you start? Put the number of months in there, because that number is the real video. Subscribe if you'd rather understand the machinery in your head than keep being run by it. One mechanism, taken apart, every week.